Hey guys, this is Rachel with Cypress Textiles, and today we're going to be making the antenna motif from the 2022 VVCAL. So I'm going to get started with a slip knot and chain 3 and slip stitch in the third chain from the hook as usual. And then inside the ring, all right, so into the ring, just go straight into the ring with a beginning double crochet, which is just a single crochet and chain 1. All right, and then we're going to make 11 more double crochets in the center ring. So we're going to have a total of 12 double crochets, including the beginning DC. Okay, so I have 12 double crochet, and now I'm just going to slip stitch into the chain of the beginning double crochet to finish my round. And then for round 2, in the next stitch, I'm just going to make a beginning DC. So make a single crochet, no chaining up, and chain 1, and then 2 double crochet in the same stitch. All right, chain 2. And now we're going to skip 1 and 3 double crochet in the next stitch. And that's going to be our repeat, chain 2, skip 1, 3 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, and that's going to, once you get around your little center circle, you're going to have 6 groups of 3 double crochet and 6 chain 2 spaces. All right, so now I'm ready to join. I have got chain 2 on my hook, and I'm just going to join with a slip stitch in the chain of the beginning double crochet. All right, and now in the next stitch, I'm going to make a beginning 3 DC cluster. So just go straight in with a single crochet, chain 1, and then essentially just make a 2 DC cluster in the same stitch. So just yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, and draw the yarn through 2 loops on the hook twice. So here we go. And now you've got 3 loops on your hook. Draw the yarn through all 3, and that's your beginning 3DC cluster. All right, so now we're going to chain 3 and actually make another 3DC cluster in the same stitch. So when you yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, and draw the yarn through 2 loops 3 times total in that same stitch. All right, and then draw your yarn through all 4 loops now, and then we're going to chain 3. All right, so that's how we're looking so far. And now you're just going to single crochet into this chain space, and then chain 3, and now you will 3DC cluster, chain 3, 3DC cluster in the next well, you're going to skip the first double crochet, and then in the next stitch you'll make your 3DC cluster, chain 3, 3DC cluster. Okay, chain 3. All right, so these clusters go in that center 3DC of your 3DC groups. And then you're in the middle of the repeat now, so just chain 3 and a single crochet in that next chain 2 space, and then chain 3 and do it all over again. So here's how you're gonna look so far, and just keep going around like this until you get back to the beginning. Alrighty, so here is how we're looking before we join. So you'll see you have 12 3DC clusters, and you have 6 single crochet, and you've got 18 chain spaces. All right, so now we're going to slip stitch in this 3DC cluster here. So just go into the loops that were on your hook when you made the 3DC cluster and make your slip stitch in that spot, all right, to join it. And that's the best way, in my opinion, to join a cluster. So in this chain space here, we're gonna make beginning 2DC cluster by just making single crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. And that is the first 2DC cluster of the round. And now you're going to chain 2, 2DC cluster in the same chain space, 3 times. So chain 2 again. This is our second time. 2DC cluster in the same chain space, and our third time, chain 2, 2DC cluster in the same chain space. All right, so we've got 4 total 2DC clusters, including this first one. And now we're gonna chain 3. And then basically just skip these 2 chain spaces here and go into this chain space with your 2DC cluster chain 2 until you've got 4 total 2DC clusters in the same chain space with chain 2 spaces in between them. Okay, I'll show you how it looks when I'm done with this little corner here. All right, so that's how it's going to look, and then you're gonna chain 3. All right, and then just keep going, putting your stitches in these chain spaces here. Just make sure you skip these chain spaces, and I'll show you how it looks when it's done. Okay, here's how we look before we join the round. And I'm going to join in the beginning 2DC cluster, and I'll show you how I do that. So I skip this beginning DC and I go straight into the full double crochet here, and then I just insert my hook into like these 2 front bars of the double crochet, and I treat it like a cluster. That is how I'm going to join my round with a slip stitch in that spot. Okay, so now we're at the second to last round, and in the first chain space, I'm just going to slip stitch in that first chain. And I don't like to slip stitch into the chain space itself because when you go into the chain space and then you make your slip stitch, I don't know, I just feel like that's like a weird thing that happens. Maybe it doesn't matter, but I prefer to just go into the actual chain itself. So that's why I instruct that in my patterns. So just insert your hook into the chain, the first chain, and make your slip stitch in there. And then you can make your single crochet in the same chain space. And now we're going to chain 2, and then in the next chain space, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, all in the same chain space, chain 2, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 2, and now in the next chain space, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2. Okay, here's how it looks so far. Single crochet in the next chain space, chain 2, and now we're at the next corner where you will single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. And I will show you how that side looks. Okay, so here is the first corner, and then you've got this in the center that also has the same single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then this is the second corner. So you can see you've got from corner to corner, between the 2 corners, you've got 5 chain spaces. All right, and that's how you make sure you have the right amount of chain spaces there. So just keep working around until you get back to the beginning. Okay, here's my motif after that round, and I did go ahead and join with the slip stitch in the first single crochet. And now I'm ready for my final round here. I'm just going to do 2 single crochet in the first chain space, and then 3 single crochet in the corner chain space. Okay, 2 single crochet in the next 2 chain spaces, and then 3 single crochet in this center side chain space here. So now you're just going to make 2 single crochet in 2 chain spaces, and then 3 single crochet in the next chain space, repeating around. All right, so you're going 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3 all the way around, because this center side chain space also gets 3. Okay, so let's see. Here's how your side looks, and I have one that is already complete that I showed you before, so you can see how the motif turns out with the full single crochet round. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the Antennae Galaxy motif, and I will see you guys on the next one.